Welcome to Man Kitchen Recipes. I am Kevin, and today, yes, you are at the right channel. Today I'm sporting my Fat Kids Barbecue t-shirt that Jeff over at Fat Kids Barbecue sent me. Thanks, Jeff. Love it. I'm part of the Fat Kids Barbecue. I think I qualify. Anyway, if you haven't seen Jeff's channel yet, go over to Fat Kids Barbecue. I'll put a link below. Show him some support. He is kind of off and on YouTube. He does a lot of competition cooks these days. He started running around doing competitions, so he hasn't had a whole lot of time to do his videos, but definitely go check him out. Subscribe to his channel and help support his channel too. So anyway, what I'm doing today is I'm making pulled pork, but I'm not using a pork butt. Today I'm using the trimmings from spare ribs. You know, the rib tips, the ends of the spare ribs that you cut off when you're squaring up your ribs. Well, anyway, check this out. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so you just take your spare rib at the top of the top bone there and you just cut it down, and once you get it across, that's your rib tips right there. And of course you want to trim it up a little more. The smaller end usually doesn't have very many bones. It's more cartilage, and you just want to square that end off and then square the other end off, and that's your pieces. And that's what we're going to use today for our pulled pork. Okay, spare rib, rib tips, rib trimmings, whatever. But today we're going to cook them so that we can shred them like pulled pork and make sandwiches out of them. So here we go. So here's my rib pieces after cleaning up. This is after cleaning up a couple of ribs. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to use this meat and we're going to use it as pulled pork. So pulled pork from ribs. Okay, and what I'm going to do, I've got my Pro Series 1100 heated up to 225 degrees, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to put these in just like this. No binder, no rubs, nothing at all on them. Naked ribs, rib pieces. Yeah, so I'm going to put these on for an hour and a half at 225 just so I can get some smoke flavor onto these ribs, these rib pieces, or these rib tips. So anyway, let's get these inside the Pit Boss 1100. And we're gonna make some pulled pork out of spare ribs. Let's get these rib tips in there, rib trimmings. We're just gonna set them over here on this side. Like I said, no rub, no binders, you know. These are the pieces that come off of when you trim them up. We're gonna let this go for an hour and a half, 225. And I have some lumberjack pecan pellets running right now. 1.5 hours in. Looks like we got some nice color on this pork. Okay, so I'm going to get a tray down here. I am going to put some Welch's orange pineapple apple juice. It's down in the bottom here. Then we're going to get our rib pieces in there. Just wanted to put a little on the bottom so they don't stick. Just like that. Now what we're going to add is add some Sweet Baby Ray's original. Okay. So basically you want to thin out your barbecue sauce. And I could do that with just water, but I want the juice flavor. And then you want to just take a brush, something, kind of mix it up a little bit. We're going to cover this with some heavy duty foil, and then we're going to set it back in there. And I'm going to turn the Pit Boss up to 350 degrees. Okay, we're going to let this braise for 2 to 3 hours. All right, we're 2 hours in. Let's give it a look. Let's see. Watch the steam if you do this. This is probably boiling. Woo! Yep, that's hot. Look at that. Okay, well, it's getting there. It's not quite full yet. So we're just going to let it keep going. Okay, 3.5 hours in. All right, let's put a glove on this time so I can just open it up like this. you do this, be very careful. The steam, look at that steam. Oh man, look at that. Look at that. All right, let's test for tenderness. Oh yeah, we're ready to fall apart. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now, look at that. So 3.5 hours, your times may vary. Keep an eye on it after about 2.5. Okay, and so I'm gonna turn my pit boss off. Let it do the cool down cycle. Family just showed up. I'll try to film shredding it and all that good stuff, but look at that bone right there. All right, so I'm gonna let this rest for at least 30 to 45 minutes and we'll be back. Okay, it's been resting, I don't know, about 40 minutes. Look at that, it's still steaming. Everybody's getting kind of hungry though, so that's all good. So I like to use my hands when I shred. So what I'm going to do is slide this over and we'll start filling up our pan. Another pan. Okay. So just like that. Pulled pork from ribs is absolutely amazing. If you haven't made it yet, you have got to. This stuff is just falling apart over here. You just want to make sure you don't get any of the little tiny rib tip, what is it? See those pieces? Those are hard cartilage. Okay? They're not bone, but you definitely don't want to put that in a sandwich and eat it. So just be careful when you're taking these apart. And that's why I like using my fingers. Okay, just like that. Okay, and here we go. We got this whole pan. This is from 2 spare ribs that we trimmed up, the rib tips and all of that. And let me tell you, it is delicious, just like that. But when we make our pulled pork sandwiches, you know we're gonna be putting some of this on there. This Uncle Steve's sauce with no name is amazing. And then over here, see this stuff right here, this is that cartilage that's up in the rib tips. And then these are the bones from the ends that we cut off. Okay, so let's make some sandwiches. All right, I got a sesame seed bun tonight for the pulled pork sandwich. And this is pulled pork from the cuttings of our spare ribs. I had 2 spare ribs, cuttings from 2 spare ribs, and this stuff is so good. And don't be afraid to pile this on. I certainly am. And then after I get it nice and piled on, I'm going to add some pickled jalapenos all over the top of this thing. Then of course we got Uncle Steve's, the sauce with no name. We're going to drench this pulled pork with this Uncle Steve's sauce with no name sauce. This stuff is so good, so good. And then, you know, hey, store-bought coleslaw. I didn't make my own. Cap it off, and there you go. Look at that. Now that is a pulled pork sandwich. Look at that. Even looks good from this angle. Man. Okay, sorry. I did not come back out to do a taste test of that messy pulled pork sandwich, but let me tell you, it was absolutely amazing. It was so good. It was messy. Anyway, our nephew and his family were here. They've got 4 kids. 3 of the 4 were here. And the 9-year-old son, he told me that he started a YouTube channel. And of course, I had to go check it out and subscribe. So if you want to go check it out, most of his videos so far are just shorts videos. He even has one that has over 2,500 views. So he's pretty proud of that one. Anyway, his channel is HDog13. I'll put a link below. Go check it out. Give him some support. And I know he's going to love it. I told him I was going to give him a shout out and he got all excited. So anyway, so the pulled pork, spare ribs, rib tips, the pieces you cut off of your spare ribs when you cut them into the shape of like regular ribs. I'm telling you, pulled pork from ribs is amazing. Just cook them up like that, shred them up, enjoy them. I think you'll enjoy them. And you know what? That Uncle Steve sauce on pulled pork sandwiches, bueno. Okay, thanks for watching. I hope you hit the like and subscribe, and hope to see you back on the next video, Mondays and Thursdays.